It's been a few years since I touched gingerbread, and I knew I wanted to buy loads of candy and whip up batches of royal icing and let my kids create anything they wanted this year. But ultimately, I want to share a story. One that shows my children the real significance behind this tradition of gingerbread. One that my mother taught me oh so many years ago. As a young girl, I remember every December walking through our tiny dining room with its table buried underneath stacks and stacks of cookie sheets full of gingerbread. But the unique thing was, they weren't for us. Except for a house and perhaps a sleigh that she'd display on our large, old, cumbersome TV located in the central and only living space. She'd work as a teacher by day and then spend her evenings hunkering down over trays of gingerbread and ponder on those she'd give them to. They always went to our teachers, loved ones, or to my personal favorite, friends that were usually very sad for some reason or another and could really use some holiday cheer. Now, I can't recall every delivery, for there were too many, but oh, how I loved delivery day of Mom's gingerbread. One delivery I'd like to share comes from when I was only 6 or 7 years old. We all piled in the van, and for some reason, I was asked to stay back. I can still picture the concrete walkway as my brother Mark and Mom slowly and carefully walked towards the front door. This family went to the same church that we did, and the father was a primary teacher for my older brother. For some reason I know not, he hadn't come to church for a very long time. As the door opened and surprisingly the father answered, my brother's little voice excitedly shouted his name and said, "We made you this special gingerbread house." The father bent down to examine the great craftsmanship and put his arm around my brother, which is when my brother then said, "I miss you. Would you come back to teach my primary class?" Sure enough, he did, and became a person I admired very much in my youth. Oh, the valuable lessons I've learned from my mom through gingerbread, the least of it being about royal icing. So, while I struggle to even get gingerbread made during this busy era of my life, I pay homage to the one who taught me why this season is so magical. This year's house was for someone else. I knew before I started who this would go to. You see, sometimes I believe we cross paths in life with others, not just by coincidence, but by divine design. I now know that I was supposed to cross paths with Jessica and Dakota Taylor. They're very dear to me. And it's all because we both became members of a club neither of us wanted to become part of. This year, they were very excited to announce the news of their third baby, but their first boy. At the halfway ultrasound, they were given some jolting news. Their baby appeared to have problems with the left side of his heart, but were given much hope that it would be operable and that he could live. Then, only 3 weeks before his delivery date, a panel of doctors gave her the devastating news that he could not be saved and that they should prepare for comfort care. Now, if you've walked this path, then you know the excruciating pain that comes from carrying a baby that you don't get to keep. But what also comes is unspeakable joy and the knowledge that because of our Savior, death is not the end. After a very short hospital stay, they rushed home to spend his only time in the comfort of their own home. He lived a mere 29 hours, but his life and influence lives on forever. A few years ago, I found that making a gingerbread house in Ammon's honor helped with the healing process. So, again, not that gingerbread is any miraculous gift, but through its magic, I hope they feel love and peace during this season. Dakota and Jess were brave and strong, and I know they will continue to touch the hearts of many throughout their lives.